Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. Thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather Tropical Edition. We have Hurricane Nigel out here still spinning. Is this going to be a threat to any land? We'll take a look at that. The big story is going to be off the southeast U.S. coast here, where we could actually have a system developing that kind of hangs around for quite a while, especially through the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Will this actually head up the U.S. East Coast here? And will we be looking at a tropical, subtropical, or extratropical system? We'll get into all the details here. And we do have a new system that's going to be coming off the Cape Verde Islands here. As you can see, it's traversing off the Cape Verdes in the next day or two. And we have a very high chance of development during the next several days. How far will this system make it across the Atlantic? We'll get into all the details along with a big pattern reversal here across North America. Let's get into it. So starting off with the European model here, I just wanted to say something about my audio. I am in the process of trying to figure out exactly what's going on with it because it's definitely not as clear as it was, say, a couple weeks ago. So it's a work in progress. Just bear with me there. Thank you. So let's take a look at the East Coast here. We have that area of low pressure that's going to be developing over the next several days. And as we get right around the 21st here, you can see right off the southeast coast, that is where we're going to start seeing that area of thunderstorm development. Now, it's going to be mostly off the coast initially toward the 22nd here. And then as we continue to go in time, you can see 23rd, we start to see evidence that this might make a run up the U.S. East Coast. High pressure retreating eastward away from the northeast. Initially, it does have a stranglehold on the northeast, blocking the system, keeping it stuck over the southeast. But you see one impulse rides to the northeast. Will this be tropical or subtropical? We'll have to keep an eye on it. And then another impulse rides up along it here as another high pressure retreats here to the northeast. So this is something we got to keep an eye on. Maybe multiple waves or even systems developing along the East Coast here. There's definitely something going on here with this weather pattern. I'll take a look here at the GFS momentarily to see if anything's going on that model as well. So let's take a look at your Nigel, Hurricane Nigel. Yeah, for the most part, initially, this system's going to be a big fish storm. However, I'm a little bit concerned here as we get out towards the Azores. This is towards the 21st. You know, it's going to go up towards a Category 2, 110, maybe 115 Category 3. We'll see. It might make it there. Here's the Azores right out here. You can see them. Here it is by the 21st. So watch this. It's going to be really close. There's definitely going to be some effects. And the Europeans taking it just east of guidance. It is being caught up here in this low pressure, this massive low just south of Greenland. So that might be the saving grace here for the Azores. Now, our next system that will be exiting the Cape Verde season here, take a look at this. This is towards the 20th. You can actually see this system pinwheeling towards the west, towards the 22nd and the 23rd. So, yeah, this system, if we get this out of the way here, you can see, yeah, this system is going to be heading initially towards the west here as we head towards the next 4 to 5 days. Now, after that, the European model does start to strengthen it up here a bit, and these systems do have a tendency to recurve when this happens, and look at that. European taking it right where Nigel is right now. So, recurvature? Possible. Too early to tell. So the GFS model here, let's take a look right off the East Coast. Is the GFS, and yeah, there it is. This is by the 20th. Look at that. Showers and thunderstorms actually coming right off the Florida coastline here. Look at that. And over here in the Bahamas. So we're going to be seeing through the 21st. Here it is, the 21st. Look at up here in the northeast. You're basking in this nice high pressure system. But look what's just sitting to your south. This looks very tropical, at least subtropical here on the GFS. And look how it starts to plow right into the Carolinas by the 23rd. Yeah, GFS really initializing this into something here. So this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But look what it does here pretty quickly. This is the 23rd. Yeah, this would be a lot more pessimistic here for the Carolinas all the way up through the mid-Atlantic into parts of the northeast here. Look at this. This would put heavy rain to the 23rd all the way up into the 24th into this region. So this is something we definitely need to keep an eye on. And depending on the timing on this system back here, these actually could meet up. So definitely something we need to keep an eye on here. As we go in time here, look at the 24th. We still have showers and thunderstorms developing here. And could we see another area? That's what the European model was indicating here. So this is something we definitely need to keep an eye on. GFS is a bit more optimistic, though, with this trough kicking this system out to the east like this towards the 29th into the 30th. But we got plenty of time to watch that potential second system there. So as we go out here into the Atlantic, here is our Nigel, Hurricane Nigel, plowing to the northeast here. GFS taking it a little bit closer to the Azores as we get towards the 22nd here. So this is something we definitely need to keep an eye on here. But the good news is that low pressure that I showed you on the European, it's existing here on the GFS as well, pulling that system up to the northeast. And as we go through the rest of the tropics here, this Cape Verde system, let's just zoom out so you can see it. It is exiting right around, here it is, on Tuesday. So as we go through Wednesday, Thursday, here we go through the 21st. Here it is. GFS taking it weaker into the south. This is going to be interesting to watch, and then it brings it to the north as it strengthens it here towards the 28th, the 29th. But look at that. It's just south of where the European has it, but weaker than the European. And as you know, weaker storms do tend to stay a little bit closer, south here towards the Leeward Islands. So this is something, look at it. This is 306 hours out, though. You can't put a lot of faith into this, but look what happens here. This is really interesting. The GFS strengthening this and pushing it towards the Leeward Islands. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I don't see any reason this would actually happen. I mean, especially since you have low pressure here off the U.S. East Coast. The only thing I can see is the steering currents do look a bit weak in this area, and I don't think the model knows what to do with it, so it's kind of pushing it this direction. But that's definitely something we're going to keep an eye on here. Now, take a look at the western areas like the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to initially be dry with some scattered showers through the 20th here, through Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. But as we continue to go out here, take a look at this. It does get dry for the weekend, but watch next week. This is around the 24th, 25th. Look at these impulses. We're going to start seeing a big influx of moisture here across the Caribbean. So things are going to get very rainy come the 25th, the 26th. Look at that. Yeah. Lots of, wow, that's a lot of rain developing here across Jamaica and the Cayman Islands here. Something we're going to have to keep an eye on. That does not make it into the Gulf, though. Look at this. The Gulf is clear as a bell. Mid-layer dry air. Thank you to Tropical Tidbits here. There is our big old Nigel, Hurricane Nigel, that running around this high-pressure system off the U.S. East Coast, blocking it as well, pushing it off to the northeast. Now, dry air. Look how it's disappearing across the MDR for our next system. That is what has me a bit interested about this system, because it's not going to really have to fight a lot of dry air. Look at that as we head towards the 28th. Yeah, this system's going to be plowing towards the west here. Look at this feed of tropical moisture, though, as we go out in time from the eastern Pacific all the way to the western Caribbean and right up the U.S. East Coast, right towards New England and the Northeast. Let me just back that up just slightly. Look at that tropical connection just flowing. And then look at, as we see here, this is the GFS, by the way, 946 millibars. It turns it into a major hurricane here. Now, take a look at the European model here. Take a look at this. So there is our system, Nigel, going a little bit further to the northwest before recurving, but nevertheless, between these two high-pressure systems getting caught up here into this trough of low pressure. Here in the MDR, the European is completely the opposite of the GFS, fighting a lot more dry air, keeping this weaker initially. Now, it does seem to, as we go out in time, look what starts to happen. That dry air really starts to have an effect. This is weird that the European model is keeping this weaker, yet more further to the northeast than the GFS. So we have to wait here to see what the models are doing. It does seem on both models, though, as I did mention, there's a lot of weak steering currents in here, so as we get towards the end of the month, things could actually be very variable here when it comes to the path of tropical systems. Now, as we get here into the Western Caribbean, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Central America, you're going to initially get a shot here of rain over the next couple days, say right around the 20th and 21st, upwards of 30 to 40 millimeters. That's going to be right around inch and a half. That'll get you the temperatures down a little bit. But look at this. As we head into next week towards the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. Look at this. This is tremendous moisture. This is upwards of 80, 90, maybe close to 100 millimeters of rain. We're getting up towards 3 to 4 inches. Look at the Bahamas getting just blasted with rain up here, and even into Central America as well. Now, as we get over here into the Eastern Caribbean, Lesser Antilles, Trinidad, Tobago, it's pretty dry over the next couple days until we get to about this weekend. Look at Friday into Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, we're just piling it on here as these tropical waves move in. Look at this, 60, 70, 80, 90 millimeters, upwards of maybe 2-3 inches here towards Trinidad, Tobago. A little bit later up here towards Puerto Rico, maybe 1.5 inches likely here. But yeah, something we need to keep an eye on. Look at off the southeast coast, though, the Bahamas. Lots of rain. As we head out across the Eastern Pacific, yeah, we're going to watch this little area out here. But you know what? That's going to become a fading memory. Eastern Pacific is eerily quiet, as is the Western Pacific. I honestly don't know what to say about this. This is actually pretty remarkable. The only things we have going on are these big systems here across Japan. These are synoptic systems, as well as the monsoon here across the Philippines. It's going to keep you pretty wet, but, you know, there is absolutely nothing to really talk about. You know, these areas of low pressure, these waves that crop up. In all honesty, as we head through the end of the month, there's actually nothing on our radar. So let's take a look at our HRRR future radar here. Yeah, what's going on up here into the northeast as we head into the overnight hours? Look at this. This is towards midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So yeah, you're going to see that's why the flash flood and flood watches are in effect all the way through, especially interior New England here. So watch out for that. Look at over here into Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. You're going to see some very heavy rain out of this as well. We do have some drying taking place behind this as we head through the early morning hours. But look at this, is essentially a early season nor'easter here. It's winding up just southeast of Augusta, Maine, and it's pushing a big swath of moisture here into Maine and eastern Canada, especially. Look at southern Quebec here as well. Extreme southeastern Ontario, Canada, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, really getting some heavy rain here, upwards of some areas 100 millimeters and 3, maybe 4 inches here in interior parts of New England. That winds up. Here's 3 p.m. tomorrow. Look at that low pressure winding up. So mainly areas to the northwest of this low. You're really eking out a really nice day here across the Ohio Valley into the northeast. The only areas that I see of concern are this big mesoscale convective complex across eastern Oklahoma and some showers and thunderstorms here across South Florida. Now watch this. Let me just zoom out here so everybody can get their fill. So here we go. Look what's going on here as we head through 10 p.m. on Tuesday evening. There's not much going on there across the Ohio Valley into the northeast. It's looking really, really nice in this area. So drying out really nice. Mesoscale convective systems here across northeast Texas, maybe some strong to severe thunderstorms around Dallas, eastern Oklahoma, and look here into southern and central Florida here. You got this system that's starting to take effect here, and showers and thunderstorms will be propagating. It looks like for the most part they're avoiding the peninsula, though. That's pretty curious. It's mostly out over the Gulf, and then especially the Bahamas and north of the Bahamas as this system really starts to get cranking. This is 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Look at another mesoscale convective complex developing here. But as we continue to go in time, you can see the common theme here. There it is, our last frame, is lots of showers and thunderstorms around our potential tropical development here off the southeast coast. All right, so the European model, we're taking a look at U.S. and Canadian weather here. There's some low pressure there across northern Canada, another low here just north of Winnipeg. But take a look at this. There's our low winding up here into parts of New Brunswick here. That's that what I'm calling an early season nor'easter there, just behind, Lee this previous weekend. But look at that. High pressure is going to build in across much of southern and central Canada and northeast and midwest Ohio Valley and much of the east for that matter. That's looking really nice. But as we continue to go in time, this is through the 21st, by the way. And as we continue here, take a look what's going on. Yeah, there's going to be some severe weather here into parts of south central Canada, around Winnipeg, just north and then southward here across the U.S. plains. But look at that. We got a trough developing with big low pressure here into British Columbia, Canada. The blocking highs here over northeast North America, especially the northeast and eastern Canada, are going to continue. We got our system here cranking across the Midwest, bringing showers and thunderstorms heading towards the Ohio Valley, but they're weakening because they're heading into this big old area of high pressure. Look at this. We could see some severe weather into parts of western Ontario as we head towards the 26th. Look what's happening, though. There's that system off the U.S. East Coast. It doesn't have too much place to go right now because high pressure is blocking it. But watch this as we continue to go in time here. You can see that system kind of sliding up and around this high pressure system towards the 28th. You see it's getting into parts of New England right ahead of this big old low pressure system. Now look what's building into the north. You got this double barrel high pressure system making most of Canada nice weather except near the Great Lakes where you'll get some shower and thunderstorm action going on. And there's our last frame, the 28th. You can see very inclement weather around the Great Lakes into the northeast with our potential tropical system, that second one potentially. And here's a quick word from my affiliate. Stay with me here. I've got plenty more weather right after this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. All right, so the height anomalies here across North America, that trough lifting out next week, or the rest of this week, take a look at that across the northeast. High pressure, yeah, here into Canada, really building in nicely. That's building into the Great Lakes in the northeast. That blocking high keeping us nice up here. But there's that system, that cutoff low across the southeast, possibly extratropical or even tropical. Look at this high pressure across Canada. I don't know if this is really good news because we came out of a wildfire season that was horrible. And with that kind of dry weather, that's probably not a good thing as we head through September 28th. Liquid equivalent precipitation here as we go through the next 5, 8, 10 days. Look at this. This is concerning here across the East Coast because initially you get this shot into New England, 2 to 3, maybe 4 inches. And then look what heads right up the coast as we head towards next weekend. This is just terrible. Look at this. Propagating right up the East Coast. Look at that. More rain into Monday and next week. We could be seeing rainfall totals 2 to 4 inches, especially near the coast in some areas. Stay tuned. This could be quite a gully. Oh, look, yeah, we're in kind of a dangerous weather pattern here as we go even further out. That's the GFS, by the way. Let's take a look at the Euro. And here we go with the European model. There's that initial shot of 3 to 4 inches there into the reds and the yellows. And then with this next system that blows up the coast, European model is a bit more optimistic here. Look at that as we head towards Thursday, the 28th, keeping the heaviest offshore. Although look at here into New Jersey, Delmarva, parts of the Carolinas, all the way up into parts of eastern New England. We actually get closer to 4, maybe 6 inches. That's a lot of rain. And temperatures across the area. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, cold air shot continuing into the northeast, upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into Tuesday. Warming up here across Texas, but we're not in the triple digits anymore. We're in the 90s. So that's going to continue as we head in time here. But you see across the northeast, we're warming it back up into the lower 70s. We're going to maintain a really nice temperate climate here. Parts of the Ohio Valley, we start to get into the mid to high 80s. Cleveland staying about 76, though. Here across Texas, we're in the 90s. But at this point, this is much cooler than we've seen it all season here. So this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Look at the big cold blast here into parts of the Rockies as we head through the end of the week. Into the northern plains, 60s. Beautiful weather across the Ohio Valley and northeast, though. Get out there and enjoy it. This is going to be temperatures held down by rain here across the Carolinas with that potential tropical system. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we head up into the northeast for Sunday as well. Those temperatures might be being held down by a potential subtropical or tropical system, maybe even a nor'easter. Extended outlook from hometown viewers, Bingham to the Scranton's Upper Susquehanna River Valley. Here we go. This is essentially a beautiful forecast as we head through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Sunny skies every day in the lower 70s, and look at that. Great sleeping weather, mostly into the 40s. Enjoy. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Take a look at my Facebook page at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern to follow the tropics. And if you want to hop over to my Twitter page, it's at Weather Eastern. It's MeteoMark.com. Thanks for joining me. Question or comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted when a video comes out.